Hello once again and welcome to How Time Flies, our monthly video newsletter from the High Plains Western Heritage Center. I'm Brian Leslie along with the Executive Director at the High Plains, Carlos Scovell. Haven't really been monthly since the winter break that's going on right now, but hey, we're about halfway through the winter break. It's into February now, so we're on the downside of winter, I think. We gained, 45 minutes of daylight in January. We're going to gain another hour and 15 minutes of daylight in February. And so yeah, I think we're starting to begin to kind of think about spring, but we've got our presidents here in honor of President's Month this year. So we got Mount Rushmore this month. We've got our red for Valentine's Day. I think we're all set for this month of February.
We are.
All right.
For those who can get out here and enjoy it. And Jerry Langer made this beautiful plaster piece. Isn't that gorgeous?
It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think Guts and Borglum couldn't have done it any better. Well, let's talk about some of the things that have happened since we last spoke. We had a wonderful holiday season with Christmas at the High Plains this year.
We did. I can honestly say we had more vendors than we've had in years past, and those vendors sold more than they have in years past as well. The crowds were smaller, but I think the buying was up because we were a great local option. And this is the year maybe folks are tired of buying online. Or just didn't want to travel to Rapid, but either way, we really appreciate the support we received. And of course, we had authors come in and sign their books on Saturdays, and had movie matinees, and then wrapped up with 2 great concerts. And we just can't thank everyone enough, including the performers. Orion and Stacy, who came and performed their fun Christmas concert with the Andersons,
they sure did.
And then Paul Larson, Robert Dennis, Jingle Bob, right? Brent Morris and Shiloh. That was a wonderful way to wrap up the month.
It sure was. So we kicked off the new year in style, I would say. Even though the center was closed, we were open by appointment for some groups. So we had a nice homeschool group that came in.
We did.
In January.
53 of them, in fact, all the way from infant up to adult, but they were mostly from Rapid City. They had come a couple years ago. So some of our volunteers came in and stationed themselves throughout the building, and the kids really enjoyed it. We had a lot of good questions this time from the older kids as well as the parents, and so it's always and several who'd never been here before, always good exposure.
Awesome. And then we closed out the month with a couple of live events here, and they were both, one of them was Cracker Barrel and one of them was a Convention of States meeting.
Yes, we were the host for the annual Chamber of Commerce's Legislative Cracker Barrel on the 30th, and then also hosted a group here who had a town hall on the Convention of States. So I learned a lot. Yeah,
they were well attended, both of them. I think we had close to 80 in here for the Cracker Barrel, which Fred Romkema said that was one of the biggest crowds he can remember.
That's right.
Yeah, and then we had probably 60 or more for the Convention of States meeting. So High Plains is a great place to have an event if you'd like to book. And I know we've got some more coming up in the month of February.
We do. We have the Belfouche chapter, or the
Catherine Tybo chapter?
Thank you. I always want to call it Mary Tybo, but correctly, it's the Catherine Tybo chapter of the DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yeah.
And they're going to have their meeting here once again. They did last February as well. And at that time, they will present another flag to us. And I would say that our flag is looking a little bit like Francis Scott Key must have seen when he...
After the War of 1812.
Yes, when he looked out there, is the flag still there? After that 75-mile-an-hour wind we had, I was wondering myself.
Boy, and we're always so grateful to the DAR for supplying us with flags every quarter, because that's a big deal. It really is.
Oh, yes. It saves us money, and it's such a blessing.
It is. So heading on into March, what are we looking for coming up?
March, of course, we don't really have any scheduled events, but we're, of course, still open for business. And ready for your appointment if you're coming in or have family in town. Just give us a call. That seems to be working pretty well.
One of the new exhibits you'll see when you come back 1st of April will be some survey equipment. Tell us about that.
Yes, we are the recipients of Gary Renner, who had a lifetime collection of survey equipment. He has spent his life as a surveyor, and he looked around and chose us as the place to land his collection. So we appreciate his donation. It's filling up 2 cases for us, so come on out. I'm sure those of you who have special interest in that will really enjoy taking a peek at his collection.
Well, once April kicks off, the next event to put on your calendar is going to be on the 18th, a very special day, really.
Yes, the anniversary of the Doolittle Raid. So Paul Higbee lost out a little bit last year, I guess, with COVID. It's probably statewide, really. So we are going to launch him back again like we were last year on his new book, First Strike, the Doolittle Raider. And
Doolittle Raider Don Smith from Belle Fourche, the Belle Fourche native. A very fascinating story, and Paul does a wonderful job. And the neat thing about it is it's on the actual anniversary of the Doolittle Raid over Japan. Yes. That was a turning point in the Pacific Theater during World War II. So, yeah, awesome.
Sunday, April 18th at 2 p.m., so mark your calendars for that.
Right. And in case you were wondering, looking further ahead toward the later spring and summer, things are really shaping up, I think, for the High Plains this year. Finally getting back to some massive activity coming up. I hate to tell you that.
Yes, after a quiet year, I don't know how, no, we'll actually be very glad. We do have a full schedule still from Colette Tours, who comes on Mondays and does their dinner show here. We also have a full schedule so far with the Institute for Educational Travel. And in addition, they always host one of the area entertainers, Randy Bender, Gordy Pratt as Seth Bullock, Joyce Jefferson as Mary Kercheval, and some of the other ladies here, African-American women who pioneered the area. So it really gives an opportunity to vendors as well as entertainers. It's a multi-faceted event when we have those two buses, Colette and Educational Travel. Diamond Tours, they're also going to be coming back. Their whole slate had been wiped out last year. They are based out of Florida, so they come all the way from the East Coast, but I did receive an email from them saying that they are likely to come back. People are very anxious to travel and excited to do so.
You bet. Cowboy Supper Show is going to be back for another season this summer too.
It is.
So be looking for those dates coming very, very soon.
Yes, definitely starting Tuesdays in June for the public. And Gordy is very excited to be back in the saddle again. So he and Dallas will be this year's entertainers at our Cowboy Supper Show. And we, of course, we want to say thank you to Orion and Stacy for filling that in last year. They did a fantastic job as well.
And they did. Yes, they did.
It's hard with small crowds.
Yeah. But hey, we made it through,
We did.
and so a lot of good things happened last year. We're looking forward to some wonderful things in 2021. So is that about it?
It is.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, we'll have more to add to the calendar in April, so stay tuned.
All right. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the High Plains YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button, and we'd be happy to have you along. And if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, you can do so by stopping at the museum or giving an email to info@westernheritagecenter.com, and you can be involved or being informed rather of all the things that are going on here. So take advantage of that. Several ways to give if you visit the website. You can become a member. I know that we had the annual membership this year that was a pretty good success.
We did, yes. And actually the new form of membership right now is a lifetime membership.
Lifetime membership,
and we've had some people taking advantage of that as well. We really appreciate all the donations that came in at the end of the year, and of course there's always still that need, especially moving into the rest of this first quarter. So thank you again to all of those who give generously to us.
And then
always
you can
needed.
also buy a block on the Heritage Wall. It's another way of supporting the work here at the High Plains. And we thank you for doing that if you have in the past. Thank you to all our High Plains Western Heritage Society members. You guys are the ones that really make it really go, as well as the volunteers that are here still quite often, even while things are shut down. They're still in and out every day,
Yes,
it seems
they
like.
are.
So very nice. So thank you for joining us today. We will see you next time on How Time Flies.